Alrighty, so today is September 21st, 2020, and this is a very exciting time for me to start seeing some of the pieces coming together so that I can share with you guys how we're going to be able to flow the energy going forward, because what I can see now that I couldn't see before was where the energy was going and where we needed more support, where we needed more organization, where we needed more communication, XYZ, whatever. So as new leaders are coming in, it's helping me see where we have the support so we can expand out into what I am calling, for now, wombs. I'm going to screen share for a minute here. And the reason that I'm going into this way before we do our opening ceremony is so that everybody kind of has direction and can kind of imagine where they're going to be sharing and when they're going to be sharing and how they're going to be sharing, so we can be really efficient and just tighten up our use of energy, really. So the way that we're going to start doing the calls is essentially what gave me the vision to see how the structure of the organization is going to be going forward. So this role that I'm in right now, kind of facilitating the meeting and setting the intention for focus, I want every single role to be interchangeable, even my role. So like, I know I've always said that, I've said that from the beginning, and now I can see how that can happen, and this is how it's going to happen. So I broke down in minutes basically how much time we'll spend on each part of the meeting. That way, anybody that can't make the meetings on Mondays can filter energy into the people that can report in these different wombs. So I or someone in this role will go first, setting the intention and kind of giving a brief direction for the way the call is going to go for the day. And then the opening ceremony will happen with Crystal or someone who does the opening ceremony. And then we're going to have an update on all the hub projects, the status reports, and where people might need help, might need more assistance, so we can call that out. Because remember, this call gets reported during the Sunday newsletter, which goes into now the information and technology communications womb. So this sanctuary is a giant womb, and all of us are the little particles and cells developing inside of it. So now we have like smaller wombs that each of the hubs can function within, so that we can start understanding where we want to focus our energy. My primary energy focus is probably going to be in communications. It's not necessarily going to be in the mentor's womb, where a lot of the ascended affiliates are putting their programs and their content and that kind of stuff into this area. So information technology is just going to, and communications is going to be like reporting about the podcast, Mighty Networks, the website. So I reached out to Will last night and I said, you know, what are we going to consider Mighty Networks? So that's actually going to be, I think you said a communication platform, right? Is that what you said? Okay. Yeah. So this is going to be cool. All right. So the app update, we'll have that. We'll talk about the newsletter structures, information curation. That's something that Christine is really stepping into as her role. So right now, I met with Will, Janessa, Ria, and Christine for the information technology and communications womb. So we had some structure. So we have some people that everybody can come to navigate around in the sanctuary. So the mentors womb, we already touched on. This is where rituals, content, meditations, classes, self-help type energetics are going to go in here. Then we've got the emerging leaders womb. So the emerging leaders is our synarchy. That's where recruitment comes in. That's where we're developing the personnel that's within the leadership team. That's another area I'm going to be focusing on. So as you can see, we can move in and out of any of these areas as we're feeling led. And the reason this structure is coming about is so we can do that. So we can move in and out of any of these structures, and we have processes and procedures in place not to bind us, but to allow us freedom. The more freedom that we have and we understand the flow of energy, the easier it's going to be to amplify what we're already putting in here. So the last piece is the sacred earth womb. And I had a meeting with Kimba yesterday. She's really excited. She's going to be a little bit late on our call today. I'm going to let her speak to how she sees these, this separating, not separating, being more defined and where the energy is going to go in terms of the sacred earth energy. Because there was the sacred earth hub, and now we're talking about the sacred earth womb. So the sacred earth hub is going to be more dispersed between what's already going on in the mentors hub, and pieces of it will be brought into the womb where there's the sustainable communities, permaculture, community outreach and service, the preservation of our land through nature reserves, grant writing. So all of these pieces are going into these different wombs so that we can start really calling in that next level. I also started, based off of this structure, putting together a very loose business plan, which I've put different ones together for this. I've written many business plans, but this one in particular, I believe, is going to end up being very similar to how we did the proposal for, I'm going to stop sharing for right now so I can see everybody's faces. This will go out. Everybody will get a copy of this. Oh, yes, everybody will. Look at that. Curtis and I were already on top of things here. He just messaged. All right, so yes, we're all going to get a copy of this. Everybody will be able to have access to seeing this and seeing the development of it. This is actually in the leadership commitment letter. So this is the end of the leadership commitment letter. So people, when they go in, they aren't going to get the whole business plan, but when they read this, they're going to at least be able to be imprinted upon by reading this outline. Like the essence is in this outline. So I'm also going to invite anybody who has practice writing business plans, or when you heard me say something about the business plan, if that felt exciting to you, or you want to put a couple of sentences together even, you guys can email that to me. And then just put in the subject line business plan so that I know how to find it later when I get the next set of inspiration. So put business plan and just email me, Bridget@soulmassages.com. If you guys have a question about that or need clarity on my email, then just let me know. We're also putting together a directory so that we can connect with each other via email or what have you. It's just part of being in the leadership group. The only one that will have access to that, it's going to be the people that are in the leadership container. And it's so that we can reach out if we are inspired to reach out to somebody, and we have the information right there. And then you guys can decide which womb you are going to be focusing your energy. So if you want to be a point person where somebody can share information to report on Mondays or whatever, or help with organizing or what have you, then we're also going to have that included in the directory, which is flexible. If you decide you want to move out of something, you can. But just so people know who they can go to. And it's not just 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people. Everybody in the leadership group will be able to direct people, because you have to understand that this container and this leadership group team is really going to be expanding up to 1,200 people. And I know that this is where it's expanding to. I just can see it and I can feel it. And so we're the core, really getting the structures in place so that everything moves smoothly, and we're using the energy that comes in the most efficient way possible. Like, I can't stress that enough, because if we don't have these pieces in place and people are coming in and they're kind of getting lost in the shuffle, they may feel discouraged, or like, this isn't the space that they thought that it was, even though it is. You know, like, even this is what they were probably looking for, but we didn't have those pieces in place. So now that we do, more people are coming in. I've had at least 2 people coming in per week or meeting with people that may not always be coming in here, but I'm building a lot of physical connections locally. So Saturday, and I'm telling you this because, again, the Sacred Earth Womb, and as the sustainable communities are coming in and community outreach and services, and as you guys are building your mentor groups locally where you're gonna like be hosting activities or workshops or whatever you guys are doing. I had I don't know if I would call it a wake-up call, but maybe I get a wake-up call all the time, every week, I feel like. But Saturday, I coached all day from like 8 in the morning till 6 at night, a group of sex trafficking. It was people that have been recovered from sex trafficking, people that help in the liaison between the recovery and the coaches really that coach regularly these people. And so it just really shifted my capacity and understanding our roles and how we are going to be showing up in this world in multiple dimensions, and how we're going to be fluctuating between somebody at that level, somebody who may just have been, you know, brought out of sex trafficking situation or addiction situation. A lot of us have history and stories around those types of experiences, and we may have just been away from that directly for a little bit longer, or maybe our path looked a little different because we had, you know, support people that showed up in a different way. And I think it helps to really humanize what we're doing. And it helps us understand why we had to go way out here and then way back here and then way out here again. And we're gonna be expanding and contracting regularly so that we can take it to this level and then like bring it back in, because we're connectors, you guys. There's a reason why we wear multiple hats. There's got to be people who understand over here and over here and can be the supports, the leaders of the leaders, the support of the supporters, and so on and so forth. And the last piece of that is how frequently this week it has been brought up that there just aren't the same physical locations for like sending your kids to camp, or, you know, like there just isn't that focus like there used to be. And because of the expansion and contraction, I know that it is headed in that direction. It's just like, you know, a tire, how like in the 60s, you know, now we have the same type of wardrobe coming up several, you know, decades later. So this is what's happening. We're getting back into where Mother Earth is like, this is out of balance. And she needs the stewards, which are all of us, whether we are directly involved in the physical communities, or whether we're helping virtually and physically with emerging leaders, or whether we're virtually and physically doing the Mentors Womb, or we're assisting with communication so we can globalize things. It doesn't matter where you guys are feeling pulled. You have to, at this level of the game, be okay with living in the unknown and just following those nudges and allowing for those nudges to be revealed to you. So that is a very rough overview of where things are going. And I'm just setting the tone so that we can discover together what this is going to look like. So it doesn't have to be perfect the way that we roll this out. It's just the direction everything is evolving into. So as far as getting into reports and everything, I'm just going to go ahead and hand it over to Crystal so that we can anchor this in, and that the mind can allow for the heart to do the guiding before all the ideas start taking over and charging ahead and whatnot. And then so you guys can have really good clarity, and you can really feel in your bodies what this is going to mean for you and what this is going to look like for you, and how we can really start calling in support for all of these branches now. So thank you everyone for showing up and for listening. And here we go for the opening ceremony.
Good morning, everyone. Sending you some massive love from here, for sure. Everyone, please close your eyes. Take a nice, gorgeous, deep breath. The biggest one that you have in the last week. And the biggest exhale that you can procure. Take a minute with your eyes closed to feel into the safety of your being. The millions of particles moving in orchestration that move you in and through each and every moment. And take a minute to open your own energy, breathing into each space, unionizing that space, feeling yourself as a pillar of light, opening up the magnetics to align and restructure, moving you to balance, fluctuating balance. The word of the morning is allow and lead. So by allow, we flow, and by a lead, we take action. So let's start this nice and easy this morning. Imagine those multiple hats that you wear, stacking on your head or around you perfectly. That at any moment you can put one on and take one off. Let's start this off fresh, beginning to open your eyes. Allowing the love that you are to show up to the table. And join us on this call today. Are we here? Yes? Can I get some hands up? Can I get something? Yes, we're here. We're here. All right. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you. Beautiful. Yes. All right. So how's everyone feeling in their bodies? You can flap your arms, your hands, or give a thumbs up if you're not, a thumbs down if you need to share before we dive into our actual structure of reporting. Does anybody have any questions or feedback, or do you guys just want to play and see what happens? Curtis is like, yeah, let's just see what happens. He's like, I don't have any attachment to this. Play. Beautiful. All right. I like that too. All right. So information technology and communications report. I'm just going to touch on the podcast briefly on Ria's behalf before we dive into some of the other pieces. I already gave you the structures update, so we don't need to go there. The podcast itself is underway. We've been recording weekly. If you guys want to go ahead and record any conversations that you feel would be really beneficial for the podcast, go ahead and do that. And we are actually in the middle of creating a process for that. I don't think we've typed anything up yet. I can't remember if it was Ria or Casey that was putting that together, but that is something that's happening. She said that there's quite a few people that are reaching out and have ideas and they're excited about it, but there hasn't been like any other recordings besides our initial launch. Oh, and I did one with Jessie as well. So if you guys want to do that, that's totally up to you. Go ahead and start having those conversations and recording them, because we will just launch everything as it's ready. So once there's enough podcasts saved and prepared so that we can send them out, whatever we decide, weekly or whatever. I feel weekly is probably really the target that I'm imagining. And then we can go ahead and just keep recording once we're in a rhythm and we know like how we're doing this. And I actually have a little inkling that once we create a process for that, there will probably be more people doing it. Who do they send their recording to? Yeah, I originally was talking about that. I think we need to come up with a different plan for that because I already haven't even done my own stuff for my own recordings. So if anybody feels like a burning desire, either that listens to the replay or is listening right now, that would feel comfortable with facilitating that information, that would be amazing. I don't know if it's Ria. I don't know if it's somebody else in here, but I do think that we need somebody who can manage the podcast from that capacity. We have somebody that's doing the intro and outro and like preparing and editing, but we actually need someone to keep track of where the podcasts are going and where's the recordings and all that kind of stuff. So thank you for asking that, Janessa. All right, that's all I have for that piece. Anybody else that would like to go in this capacity? Janessa, Will, anybody else would be, or any of you guys too that feel led to communicate in this womb?
I'll just pipe up my tuppence worth, everybody. I want to say thank you to Will for his patience over the weekend and the lesson on Mighty Networks. And I know I've said this to you before, Will. I don't think I've said it publicly, but I'm so impressed. Like, you have done an amazing job. I can't believe, and you're so across everything. Like the stuff that's been created, you know, before our very eyes or behind our very heads or, you know, wherever. It's just amazing. And you're on every part of it, Will. And thank you, thank you, thank you. And it's also struck me the last few weeks how as soon as that Sunday newsletter started coming out, it's been coming out and it's been consistent and it's informative and it's so readable and it's so easy and everything's just there. And the consistency has really struck me with that. The momentum. We are getting so much momentum in here now, even though sometimes we still don't know what we're doing. Even though sometimes we're still missing out because we're, you know, getting rid of our own shit. But this thing's gaining massive momentum and it's exciting. And I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's involved. Will, you definitely are a standout in a lot of the techie stuff, from my perspective anyway. But everybody, thank you. It's amazing to be part of this.
Thank you, Leslie. Yes, so as the newsletter picks up, I'm sure Janessa will pop in, or maybe she won't. But if you guys have a leadership meeting during the week, you can send a couple of sentences or whatever is relevant in the recap to Janessa so she can send that out in the newsletter so everybody can kind of see where there's a need, what's happening, that kind of thing. Thank you. Will, I saw you unmute yourself.
I did. So if anybody has trouble joining Mighty Networks that's either on this call or listening to the replay, send me an email. I can fix it. There are, these hyperlinks are just so touchy, and somehow, some way, they occasionally will auto-populate with the beginning of another URL when you click on them. And so it looks like the right URL, but if you click on it, it will take you to a message that says it doesn't exist. So it's just send me an email if necessary. I'll forward a communication that I got from somebody earlier today to Janessa about the link that's in the newsletter. The link is right. It looks exactly right, but when you click on it, it takes you to a different URL than what the link says, and technical weirdness. So other than that, standing offer, if anybody wants to know more about Mighty Networks and what you can do with it and how you can create content or courses that you want to share with the leadership or living community members, and you don't feel like poking around Mighty Networks to see the instructions and just want someone to show you a shortcut, let me know. send me an email. I have a Calendly link that people can use to set up time with me. That was what Leslie was referring to over the weekend with patient's comment. I met with her and Christine and just did a walkthrough of any question that they had about Mighty Networks. So that's a standing offer for anybody that wants to know more about it.
And unless Janessa has anything for this piece, and because Lindsay actually just got to Guatemala on Saturday, so she hasn't been online since she arrived. I'm sure she's out of service area. So the couple of things that she was working on, and I'm not sure if Kwesi may have the time. There's lots of stuff happening because everyone's in different time zones and we're all moving and everything. So if nobody else has anything else, did you want to dive into the Mentors Hub piece? And before that, does anybody know somebody named Jay? There's somebody on my calendar for tomorrow, and I don't know if he got referred. I feel like I remember someone saying this name, but I guess it'll be a surprise. Okay. All right, go ahead, Will.
So still collecting interest in Mentors Hub participation. So there's the form, which has been, it's in the newsletter. It's been posted to the Facebook group and in Mighty Networks. The purpose of the form is to get what the stated intent is for anyone that's interested in being a mentor or a mentee. So mentorship can be a lot of things, and the stated intention of the participants is one of the ways that we are going to try to pair people up into groups that are focused on similar stated intentions. So highly encourage you to check out that form. It's very short, but you can fill the boxes with as much information as you would like. And then on the back end, we'll also attempt some matching based on common gene keys or programming partners or codon rings to try to look for those energetic signatures that are most likely to be compatible or complementary.
Great, thanks, Will. So a few of you guys hopped on after I had talked about like the new structure. So make sure if you didn't hear that you listen to the replay of the beginning of the first 17 minutes. I'm talking about the structure and how we're going to do the calls going forward and where everybody's going to be sort of like reporting. So we're on the Mentors Womb right now, which is the Holistic Health and Wellness Hub, Education, Parenting and Families Hub, which Rhea also emailed about that and said that there isn't anything new going on in there, but now that we have these wombs and whatnot, I think that everything's going to kind of start picking up here. So that's also the Fast Hub, the Soft Landing Hub, Shadow Hub, all those pieces. If you don't have anything to report, you don't have to raise your hand and say anything. I'm also imagining this is when we're going to announce if you guys have a program launch. So last week, Jessie talked about her program that's launching. So if you guys have any of that kind of information, this is where you would share that. And the rituals, content, whatever you guys are sharing collectively to receive income or whatever it is, this is where you can share that. So yes, if you have an offering or something for tonight or whatever, go ahead and share that.
You literally answered my question while I was typing it. Thank you. Okay, so I'm Jessie, for those of you I haven't met yet. Hi Curtis, nice to meet you. I'm offering a fall equinox gathering tonight via Zoom. Will helped me and shared the link and all the information on Mighty Networks. I'm offering a discount to the leadership and the sanctuary community. So normally it's $33. You guys are getting it for $22. Depending on how many people attend, it'll be anywhere from like 1.5 to 2 hours. Just because people share. So I leave enough space for people to like really participate. It's just to celebrate the fall equinox, the change in seasons through reflection and gratitude. I'm really excited. This is the first of my earth-based ceremonies that I'm offering. I used to do moon ceremonies. I'm no longer doing moon rituals anymore. And I'm just really excited to like move into this energy, especially right at the change of the season, because I feel like it's so potent and exciting. So if you can make it, I'd love to have you at 7:00 tonight, Eastern Standard Time. And you don't really have to bring anything, but I always recommend like bringing a journal and a pen, or paper and a pen, and a candle, and whatever makes you feel good. You can come up however you want, but I'm really excited to offer it, and I hope to see you guys there. And then my Every You program, mentorship program, that starts November 1st. All the details are on my website, that I am also very excited about. This is the first program I'm launching as me. Yes.
Did that go, did you send Janessa information for that to go out in the newsletter too? Oh, there's Janessa. Janessa, you keep moving around on my screen.
I don't know if I did or not. I'll double check my messages and emails and stuff and see if I don't think I did. Janessa, do you have information?
Yeah, just send me everything about your program. I put it in the newsletter for anyone that's having a program or offering anything to send it to me. We'll highlight it in the newsletter. If there's like a deadline to sign up, and the price or links, everything that you need, so that if someone in the leadership wants to join it, then they have that. So we'll be offering that as a highlight in the newsletter from now on. So
I think this is actually an important part of the process that we're bringing in, because I'm hearing this is actually how we're going to interact with the 144,000 practitioners. This is a piece that we're going to be creating for them. So like, I imagine this mentor's womb is going to be, and this is probably why we spent so much time and energy in this space, this is going to actually be what emerges outward into the practitioner sphere in that triad. Did I send that triad out in the newsletter yesterday, Janessa? Or did I? Okay, I don't know what I did with that. So I'm going to send an image out that I drew on Wednesday that's kind of like the womb of the sanctuary, and then we have the leadership ascended affiliates, that's all of us, and then we can also be one of the 144,000 practitioners, and then the clients, which can also be us. You know, so it's a triad, and it's the leadership container, ascended affiliates, the practitioners, the 144,000, and then the clients, who are like the newly awakened, or maybe they aren't newly awakened, maybe just in a specific area they're expanding into. So that's the vision, that's the direction, and how everything's like really unfolding. And the reason I'm highlighting this is because nothing in here is happening by chance. Nothing out there is ever happening by chance, but especially specifically in here, how many times already in the last 30 minutes is someone private messaging me and I'm answering the question? Because when we're communicating and we're thinking, we're becoming more dolphin-like, we're becoming more unified, like the hive mind. You know, when we wrote the proposal, literally random people sent me stuff, sometimes people that didn't even know really exactly what we were proposing, but it fit into the proposal from beginning to end. Within 24 hours, I had like a several page document, and that's just unheard of. Nobody even communicated with each other. So the reason I'm saying this is because it's going to become more heightened as we move forward, and we build our trust with each other within ourselves first, but that's how we trust each other, is because we can interact with these emotions and we can play with them and we can see what they mean for us, for our team, for the sanctuary. So I just wanted to touch on that really briefly. All right, so is anybody else have anything else they want to share from the mentor womb perspective before we move into emerging leaders?
Me.
Hello, Juan Carlos.
Hello. Happy Monday. Yeah, I also wanted to share. I usually post it in the tribe and in the leadership hub that we are doing, Isaac Moore and I are doing group healings every other Wednesday, and they are donation-based at 12:30 Central Time. Okay, so you can bring whatever is bothering you emotionally or physically, and we'll take care of it during that hour. All right, so this week we have one of this week we have one of those, right? So it happens every other week. So I'm gonna get in touch with you, Janessa, so we can also put that in the next newsletter probably. I don't know if there's still time to get a newsletter for whatever is happening this week, though. I'm not sure if it's too late, maybe. But I just wanted to share that. And the other thing is, and we're gonna talk about that in a few minutes. As you know, Isaac and I have been working on a key activation code so that the gene keys can unfold in the most, we like to call it from an engineering point of view, in the most effective way. That's how we call it. And effective means with the least amount of resistance and in the right priority order. In the best priority order, let's call it in the most loving state. And that's kind of part of the work that we're doing in the soft landing code. So we just finalized the code a couple of days ago, and we're going to talk about the intricacies of the code a little later when I talk about the soft landing hub. But what I wanted to tell you is that for some reason, which is amazing, this code has allowed Isaac and I to condense. We help people with chronic conditions like lupus, psoriasis, arthritis, Lyme disease. Typically, in the story of what we've studied, we treat people like for about a year or a year and a half. With this code, and you remember, Bridget, we met the timekeeper. We made a Peruvian timekeeper. So we've been able to get input from so many people into this code so that we can collapse a year and a half worth of sessions in 3, which is, I don't ask me how we did it, but this code allows for that, okay? This code gets the human mind back to the natural time perception, to the true one, and gets you out of that plain sequential order that we are so fixated on. And that is why Isaac and I are putting together a pilot program for 10 people that are in chronic conditions like pain, like arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, lupus, psoriasis, arthritis, Lyme disease. We're putting a program. It's going to be a pilot program because that's what we're going to do. We're going to do like 3 to 4 sessions probably. That's going to be it. And we're going to condense a year and a half worth of sessions right there, together with daily practices like meditation, grounding, biophotonic exercises, and so on and so forth. So we're putting together the program right now, but I just wanted to let you know, guys, if you know someone who might be interested in this, so that they don't spend like $20,000 in a clinic in Germany or anything like that, the pilot is going to have a cost, but it's going to probably like $400 or something like that for the full month worth of sessions, plus the videos and all of that. We're going to go for half the price just to cover the time we're investing and all of that. But it's going to be really economical or affordable, let's call it that way, for people. And yeah, we would like to have, like, there's already a waiting list of people who have signed up, but we would like to tap in the most, the perfect mix. The mix that we want is people who are empaths that are sick, but that are already into the consciousness space, you know? We believe we have the most chances of success with them at the beginning and to get the learnings with them. So this program is coming probably in the next 30 days. We're finalizing the digital stuff, putting some videos and all of that. But the waiting list is already being built. There's already people there, but I just want to just tap into you guys. If you know someone or are someone who wants to get into this pilot program, let me know.
You can get that information to Janessa by Sunday. Or actually, when do you want newsletter stuff by Friday, Janessa, so you can have time to put it together to go out on Sundays? Yeah, put a little information thing together in that, because the other thing I'm doing right now, you guys, is I'm getting ready to send out to the email list just all of the things that we're working on right now, and we can definitely send that out to the email list as well, not just to the leadership team, but also to the email list that we're building out for the sanctuary. Did you have something, Nadine, that you wanted to say? You're unmuted. Okay, just want to make sure. All right.
Yeah, those are the two things that I just wanted to share in terms of like programs that are coming from my end that I would love to tap into the community, both the leadership team and also the living community. Once we finalize the pilot, the idea is to get some testimonials and then just blast the world with it. I think this is going to be really groundbreaking. It's going to be a game changer. And we're going to use this, we call it the master code. And I'm going to raise my hand once we talk about a soft landing, because I'm going to just go a little bit deeper on what that master code can do and what are the things that it's doing with making these activations the most effective possible. All right.
So did you hear, are you talking about like giving a report about the soft landing?
Yeah, is this time? Is this the right time?
Yeah, so you may have missed the beginning of the call. So we've restructured the way that we're doing the outline. Please make sure you listen to the beginning of the call if you missed the beginning of it, because that way you guys can understand, just like you're talking about efficient energy usage, that's what we're doing in here as well. And that's why we're playing and we're just kind of like going with it and seeing how this all rolls out. So yes, if you want to talk about that right now, that would be amazing.
Beautiful. So we have a meeting today at 12:30. I'm going to send the Facebook, put a Facebook post after the meeting. But for those of you who cannot attend, we're going to go deeper in the call. But we came up, we've been working on this activation code to make the Gene Keys activation and unpacking in the most effective way. We've been going through, we met timekeepers from the Mayans, and you have no idea. We were into a lot of rabbit holes, but a lot of information that was able to be condensed in this code, that once we read this code enough times, it starts bringing healing from source, right? And it starts unlocking your Gene Keys in the most effective way, right? And it's funny because it was like probably a 3-page code that we started putting teachings from Matt Kahn, from Deep, like, and at the end of the day, the last couple of weeks, we realized that we just needed 2 things. And we channeled this. The first day we were channeling the code and we were trying to build the code. Creator told us, you're gonna laugh about how this simple was at the end of the day. And the simplicity of this is twofold. What the code does, number one, it allows the human body, the brain, and the unconscious mind to tap into possibilities. We are not going to tell anyone that the truth is inside you, because we realized in our experience, what I said the last 6 months, that when you tell a human mind, this is true, even though it's true, you have to break through way more circuitries than are needed. You just have to tell this human mind, it could be possible that this is true. Just when you unlock that in the human mind find its own pathway to heal, the most effective ones. You are living the pathway.
Hold on, Juan Carlos, I apologize. We have like 13 minutes left, and I just really want to make sure we still have the emerging leaders, Sacred Earth Wound.
Oh, okay. All right. So
I just want to make sure everybody has a chance to speak. So can you just share with us kind of a recap of, did you guys have the Soft Landing Hub last week, and are you going to be having it again this week?
We're having it at 12:30, and I'll just close. Sorry about that. I wasn't keeping track of the time. So
that's because you're talking about timekeepers. That's why.
So 2 things. It's the code is going to tell you that the truth can be found inside you, and then it's going to go, and the ask is going to be, I want to activate my awareness of who I am. That's it. That's the summary of 7 months worth of work, because the truth of who you are goes beyond any concept that can be taught by teachers, and even beyond all the channelings that you might have got all the way to your life today. So just be open for source to tell you who you are as you move through your life, and it's inside you. That's the summary, and that's what we're gonna go through at 12:30. Okay.
Great. Thank you, Juan Carlos. All right, so I want to go ahead and hop into the emerging leaders womb, unless anybody else wants to go. Ilana, I know you have had your hands in many different pieces, and now that we're kind of like separating things out a little bit better, one of the overlaps that I'm noticing is the leadership piece, and that's kind of what inspired me to outline in the way that we're doing it, is the way that you guys took the lead in your calls and whatnot, the way that you're doing the Fast Hub. So if you want to report on me, that'd be.
Oh, you mean with the Fast Hub, like our leadership model?
Anything that you guys have been experiencing,
Okay.
you know, because we haven't really gotten to hear from you, and
Yeah.
I think that everybody needs to kind of know. I know you've been working with Juan Carlos, and
Sure. Yeah. Okay. I really see, I've been working with Juan Carlos firstly on this codes that he's speaking about, and it's been this last couple of weeks, so I'm still processing a lot of this stuff, and there's so much synchronicity right now that it's blowing me away in the direction that we're going in terms of activating our codes and this soft landing piece. So it's really exciting to see how these are playing together in this bigger picture of our soft landing and cutting through all that karmic piece. It's okay. Let me slow down here. So I really see a strong connection here between what Juan Carlos is talking about, the Ascension app that Lindsay is leading, the soft landing piece where we can recognize who we are and activate our light codes, and our bodies are already becoming crystalline. And so there's that whole piece, and then the Fast Hub, which supports people in the ascension process through different technologies. So I'm really seeing right now these bodies really working together, the Fast Hub, the Ascension app, the soft landing, and Juan Carlos's activation codes, because they're all saying the same thing in different ways. There's slightly different perspectives, but they're all working together and saying the same thing, which is essentially, you know, that we are connected to the oneness now. We have access right now. We don't have to go through the labyrinth of the mind and the belief systems and the karmic past stuff. We don't have to go through that anymore. We have what we need right now to activate our codes. And if, you know, with the gene keys piece, which is so, it plays such a big piece as well, the gene keys, because it's showing us that map from moving from, I guess, the old way to the new way. So we can access the CDs and the gifts right now, you know, and so these pieces are showing us how we can do that. So it's really exciting. I'm really excited because I'm like, I don't know how it's going to unfold with humanity in the next little while, but it's really exciting stuff. And yeah, so I guess that's sorry, I'm so incoherent right now, but I'm seeing this play out right now in real time. And Juan Carlos, I know you're pretty excited as well with all of this stuff, and you guys must be. So
I think that it's important to have Kimba kind of speak right now with the Earth Hub or the Earth Womb piece, because everything that I'm hearing, these are all also the same messages I've been getting. And what I've been working on is how are we going to practically present this to a culture that may not understand things at the level that we're in. And that's where I kind of see the overlap of, or the overlay of the mentor's womb and then like the community outreach through the sacred earth womb. I don't know what you were thinking, Kimba, but she had wanted to speak a little bit about this piece, and I think it's important that you get to share right now about that.
Can I just say something before you continue? I don't really know like anything I didn't understand any of that, but I felt something from that. So but like any way to connect it. So how would that work to connect further on that? Sounds weird, I know.
Well, come at 12:30 for the soft landing, and then there's more hubs. You just go through come to the calls. There's a few Zoom calls happening.
Okay, perfect.
You can come to the calls, or you can reach out via email or whatever. So whoever you want to connect with in particular, just let us know and we'll match you up with whoever you're feeling pulled towards.
Gotcha. So so email is the best way to contact any of you guys, or how does that work?
Yeah, just for now, you can just email. I'll send you an email. It's in your commitment letter. Like there's a bunch of email and information in there, but I'll just send you an email. No, it's totally fine. We're getting this process down. So this is just showing me where I need to make things a little bit clearer so that people know right away who they can reach out to.
Okay, awesome. And you said it was at 12:30. What time zone?
That's Central, isn't it, Juan Carlos?
Central Standard, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the acronym for that?
Yes, 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern.
So it'll be 3 o'clock your time, Curtis.
Oh, thanks. Okay, perfect. 3 o'clock tomorrow?
Today.
Oh, today. Okay, yeah, perfect. I'll be there. Awesome.
I just wanted to offer real quick, and then I really want to hear what Kimba said, but I wanted to offer, welcome Curtis. My name is Nadine, and I just wanted to offer to let you know that it may be wise when you feel those things, rather than be concerned or worried about understanding them, know that there's an openness for that understanding to come, and just kind of sit back and say, okay, I wonder what that's going to be like, rather than feeling like you have to attack or go through anything with a forward motion. And I think Juan Carlos, even the soft landing, it's like, sit back, let it come to you. So I just wanted to offer you that since you're new. A lot of things I don't understand, but they come to us in a wonderful way. So
Thanks,
sorry.
Amy. Awesome. No, thank you very much. That's awesome.
Okay. I'm looking at the time. I'm like, oh, okay, got it. Okay, so all right. So I'm pretty excited. Spoke with Bridget yesterday. Got the update on the wombs, and it all just is clicking right in perfectly. Okay. So what was before the Sacred Earth Hub? The Sacred Earth Hub was starting to become a beautiful place for rituals, connection with everything that has to do with nature, right? So our plants, our trees, our animals, our solstices, equinox, moon cycles, all these things, yeah. So, and it's turning into a beautiful place, but I think it's gonna need another name because it's going into underneath the mentor's womb umbrella of offering healing, self-healing support and all of that. So I think it needs another name because the Sacred Earth Womb, which I know is where I'm supposed to be, what we're looking at is the manifestation, the actual finding homes on Earth for places where we have sustainable living, we have permaculture principles, regenerative farming, we have people living together, we have on the ground schools and community outreach
for wherever this place is. So for the communities that live around these places. And the main thing is that the earth as a womb has all of our medicine. We are earth, and earth, I call earth she. She has all of the medicine for us. All of it. So these places that many of us will call our home will be tapping into, connecting into the spiritual home, the spiritual nature reserve of our home. So that's a lot of information, but what I'm looking to lead and be a part of a group of leaders is the Sacred Earth Womb, and where these are the things that we work with. And then I am going to be stepping back from a leadership place in the new, I don't know, what do we call it? Maybe Nature Rituals Hub or something. I don't know. I will pull myself back out of leading that, but will participate fully. Where I really need to go is to put the shovel in the soil and dedicate to this living manifestation of this. So that's all I have to say for now, but there's tons on it. It's just the end of the call.
And I just want to add to that, because Kim was talking about our homes and housing, and it just made me really emotional, because the one thing that everyone always says when they come here to this sanctuary is they feel like they're home. And I know so many people who don't feel like they're home, and not just the physical, but this energetic space that we're creating. And so each one of us is essentially creating a home that's connected with the Mother Earth and with the universe and the divine, so that any of us, no matter where we're going, anywhere globally, we can know that there are these points on the planet that we can go and, now I don't want to say expect the same type of whatever, but like, you know in your heart that the frequency is going to be at a level where you're not going to have to digest through a whole bunch of stuff when you show up to provide your healing medicine, or to do a retreat or a workshop, or to come in and assist people at a level that they really need. And now you're surrounded by other mentors, other leadership that has gone through what we're creating right now and is funneling out into these lands that are physical, so we can come together and receive that salve that we really need. Because every single police officer, prosecutor, lawyer, every person in the court system, everybody I've ever talked to, the very first thing that they say that there is a need for is housing, is home. And there's a reason why there's such a big need for that right now. That's like the practical 3-dimensional shit that's getting rifled through right now, while we're over here creating the vision and creating the downloads and getting the codes and all of that. So I just wanted to highlight that, because what we're doing is, and I know we've already talked about this and we've highlighted it many times, what we're doing is monumental. Like, we're creating this because our hearts are asking, and we're just getting out of the mind and we're allowing for that to manifest. So if anybody wants to connect with me after this call, now that we have this really deep clarity, if you guys need to connect with me or anybody else, please reach out. I will make the time. I literally had just kept clearing my schedule because I knew something was coming. I didn't know this was what it was. I thought it was something else, but it doesn't matter. We have clarity. I would love to bond with you, imprint with you, whatever it is that you guys need, so that we can really create what is being asked of us and that we've been sensing needs to be birthed right now. So thank you, all of you guys, for showing up and understanding what we're bringing in here. Naringa, I know you're over here on the phone. I just want to say that I know you don't always talk when we're having these conversations, but your name comes up a lot, almost in every call that I do. And so I want you to know that you're held and you are involved, whether you realize at the level that you are or not. And I can really feel that now that there's a home in this sacred earth womb, I believe that that's probably really going to be able to call to you. And some of the others that haven't really been able to find where they think they belong, I think this is going to really help with that. So yes, Kimba.
Just on a organizational question, and maybe Will, you might have some insights on this. I bet you would. As far as the Mighty Networks, do you all see that the wombs will also have a container? At least for the, I don't know. I'm just wondering. But that's something that might not be answered right now. It's just. Anyway.
Absolutely could be.
Let's connect about that, Will, and see what happens.
Sure.
I just want to say, as far as gene keys and human design goes, you guys, Will's design is totally defined. So especially for those of you who have like a lot of open centers in your chart, like maybe a projector or, you know, a manifestor or something, even generator, manifest, it doesn't really matter. But I've found for myself as a projector, really, when he asks a question, because he has so much definition in his chart, it like resounds back so clearly. He just asks the question and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I just know all the answers to the question because he gives that biofeedback immediately. So I just wanted to highlight that as well, to sign Will up for everything. I'm just kidding. Mark's cheering, he likes this. Is there anything else anyone wants to add? I know we kind of crunched the time down a little bit. Genevieve, did you want to say something? Okay. Before we do our closing, yes.
Yeah, I just want to say something.
Sure.
Kimba, thanks for saying that. I'm just like in tears over here, and I don't really know why, but well, that definitely has something to do with not feeling like home. And this is more confirmation than anything that I'm exactly where I need to be. So, just proud to be here, and yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Curtis. Yes, I started crying too, Kimba. Thank you. All right. So, Fireheart, thank you. Take us home, lady.
Oof, coming in hot. The tenderness of this group and the strength is just, it's amazing. So, okay. Well, we are over time, so let's do this together, okay? This time, eyes open. Taking a deep breath into your core and into your center, into your place of being, expanding the energetics around you. You are that powerful. Move the space out a bit more to create more breathing room for your growth, for all that is birthing within this container and within yourselves. Allowing the messy to be messy. But today we're going to use Juan Carlos's perfect word of effective. So calling that energy in. I wrote it down because I love it. The least amount of resistance in the best priority order. It's an honor to tend to the heart of this hive. So breathe into this hive for a moment. This place of being where you are home, where we're learning to create home more for ourselves, for this leadership container, and for the hive of the world. Taking a deep breath in and expanding your space almost as if you were a bee in your little pod there, but you could expand the pod because you need more space. We need more space. You all are so powerful. So expand that space around you with your breath and intention. Opening up to healing, grounding into love. and surrounding yourselves today with the support that you need. Turn on your magnetics. Keep your eyes straight ahead. Keep your heart leading the way and stay aligned. Okay? Deep breath. Feeling into this pillar of strength. This is pure soul embodied leadership, if I've ever seen some. All right, sending you all off with love. Thank you for showing up. We love you. You can turn off your mics, turn them on, whatever you want, but have a blessed week.
Love you guys.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
so
Love you guys.
Bye, everyone.